That's it for this module. Was quite a lot about middleware, I guess, but it is the crucial basis for the rest of this course, where we will of course continue with Node.js, but by using Express.js, a powerful framework. And that is what Express.js is. It's a Node.js framework, so you still use Node.js. We, for example, still use the PAF core module in this module. But you build up on it and get a bunch of utility functions and a clear set of rules on how you should structure your app. And it's all about middleware and understanding that flow of a request through all the middleware functions. Express.js is very popular because it's highly extensible, and as you already saw with the body parser in this module, you can easily plug some packages, a lot of packages actually, into an Express app because they just expose such middleware functions, and you can therefore easily add them and the request gets funneled through them. Now, that concept of middleware is really important. Middleware functions are these functions that took the request object, a response object that helped you with sending a response, and that next argument, which turns out to be a function you should call to forward a request to the next middleware in line. And in line means from top to bottom in your root file. This is a crucial point you have to understand, that you should always call next unless you're sending a response, in which case you should never call next, and that you can therefore cleverly structure your middleware to transform a request, read something from it, and send different responses depending on the route you're accessing, so depending on the path and method you're sending. You learned that you can filter requests by path and method easily with app use by adding a path, or app get, app post. And that if you filter by method, like if you had app get, that the paths would then be matched exactly. Otherwise, with app use, the path you passed would only be matched with the beginning of the URL, the part after localhost. You also can use the Express router package instead of app use, app get, because this allows you to elegantly split your routes across multiple files, since the router you export there can be added as a middleware function into app use in your root file. Last but not least, we also served some files, and it's important to know that you're not limited to serving dummy text or anything like that. You can send files, for example, as we did it with HTML files. And if a request is directly made for a file, like a CSS or JavaScript file, but also images, even though we didn't see that in this module, you can enable static serving for such files with the help of Express Static, which is a crucial part of any web application you're building, because you typically have such files that are dependencies of your HTML files, for example. And this is the core basic knowledge you should have about Express.js. This is what we'll now build up on, and this is where we will now dive deeper into to learn how to render dynamic content, how to access databases, enable authentication, manage data on the server, and so much more. So let's continue.